Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
How's everybody doing today? Are you guys doing
It's great
well?
to see you all this evening or afternoon or morning, whenever you happen to be listening to us.
Anytime you're listening to the Scene Snobs, it's a good time. I think.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. Well, Case Man, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing marvelous. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend Nick. It's another day in paradise, another wonderful week in the books, and always getting to wrap up on Tuesdays with you, my friend. So this is like become my new cap. It's no longer Friday, it's Tuesdays.
Tuesday. Is this Tuesdays with Mick? Like Tuesdays with Maury, but like less sad?
But way more Jack Lemony.
Way more Jack. No, it wasn't Jack Lemon. Wasn't that was it
Ving Rhames and Jack Lemmon?
No, Tuesdays with Maury?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. And why am I thinking Anthony Hopkins? You're probably right.
Because you always think Anthony Hopkins. Everyone thinks
do.
Anthony Hopkins.
Any old person is automatically Anthony Hopkins to me. I think he's my dad too.
That's
pretty sure.
Well, 100%. How could he not be? The evidence is all there.
Does that make me Claire Flarney or whatever her name is? I messed that up.
Yeah, Claire Foy.
No, that didn't do. I didn't do well. I tanked that one. That was.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. It was only totally terrible.
It was only totally terrible. We got some people here. Let's have some fun. Let's see what everybody's up to. AJ, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, dude?
Always good to see you, my friend. Ruth, hey, what's going on?
Ruth.
Is this my friend from TikTok I just met? Radar, what's up, buddy? How you doing? And I don't know. And I don't know Ethan from TikTok. Yeah, it's one of my friends, Ruth. Welcome. Thank you. Ethan, I don't know. Ethan was on TikTok earlier. Ruth, I now know your name. Thank you for joining us on the Scene Snobs, and let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you guys don't know this show, we are absurd. We're a little crazy, more so the madmen than me. But I'd like to think I jump in on it, though. I think I do a good job.
Oh, you definitely you hit your mark.
Well, okay. So I'm going to guess your name is Ethan, but you're on your mom's account. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, Ethan. Thank you. It's been fantastic. It was great to talk to you earlier on TikTok. I've been doing a lot more TikTok lives because I can.
As you should. Why wouldn't you?
Well, it's been, I don't know. I just figured I'd give it a try. So I did one while I was waiting for the kids for school in the car. I was just like, you know what? Let's throw caution in the wind and see what happens. And what I'm doing is I tell everybody, throw out an actor. And you know as well as I do, I'm very good at the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon game.
Oh, very.
So I'm like, throw out an actor and I'll try and get 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon done. And only one person did that. So my other thing on there is throw out your favorite movie. And I will give you a movie recommendation based on that movie. I feel like it's been going pretty well.
That's an interesting one. I like the premise.
Like one person threw out Avengers Endgame just this past live I did, and I said, give Mystery Men a try. I think that's a good, good even keel. Like it's a different movie, but you got your superhero team.
Right.
They're in it to win it, and it's very funny.
So if I said Mission Impossible, you'd come back with like Top Secret.
No, actually, if you said Mission Impossible, which was a really good movie, by the way.
It was. The first one was fantastic.
I actually like them all. I do. I have to admit, I like them all. But yes, the first one was really interesting and really well done. I will say this. If you tell me Mission Impossible, my recommendation for that would be Sneakers, starring Robert Redford.
Okay.
It's a different type of movie, a little more dramatic, has some comedy elements to it.
Interesting.
Not as action-packed, but a lot more suspense.
Okay. I would think Spy Game might be a direction I would go.
Spy Game's good.
Yeah. Still Robert Redford.
Well, you know what I was going for with it was the team aspect.
Yeah.
Because Mission Impossible, if people don't know, was a TV show in the 60s. And it was very much about the team. And then the first movie kind of took that whole team away.
Yeah. Blew them all up, killed them, like mutilated them, maimed them, just tore the team apart. It was hilarious.
They just straight up were like, yeah, this isn't about a team. This is about Tom Cruise.
Exactly. Yeah. It was unfortunate, though. I mean, that was one of the reasons I kind of always bucked from it, is because I love the team. I loved Martin Landau. Like, I loved how they had different characters who were specifically exceptional. Wow, I cannot speak tonight.
Sorry. I know you will.
They were specifically exceptional in their skill.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get Ethan Hunt, who just kind of does it all. Stupid. But I mean, he does get a team eventually. He gets Simon Pegg.
Yes. But that's what I liked about it. He built his own team. And I thought that was really good. That's why I like them all, is because through it, he adds members and takes away members, and it kind of goes through. I love when Jeremy Renner joins up. 4 is my favorite.
I'll agree with that. I like 4 a lot. I did not like 3 at all. 3 actually took me out of the entire series.
It's so funny you mention that, because 3 is not my favorite, but 3 is so well acted. Tom Cruise against Philip Seymour Hoffman is so astounding in how they play off each other, and just the villain element, which is ironic because we're ending our villain bracket tonight. But and I'm surprised we didn't put him on there. He's such an astounding villain, because in those movies you get some really good bad guys.
You do.
That are faceless. Not him. He is the bad guy, and there's a very real threat there. So I just thought it was really good.
I'll agree. I mean, that's I struggled. The acting was good, but it was more about just the actors chewing the scene, and it wasn't as concise a story. And I don't know, it just didn't feel like the stakes were as high. Something about it just lacked. It was lacking for me.
No, that's fair. That's very fair. I mean, everybody's got a different taste to it, and I absolutely have to respect everyone's take on it.
I mean, some people like Tokyo Drift.
That's true. Not me.
Not me, even a little.
I met a guy yesterday who has seen Red Dawn, Total Recall, and RoboCop, but only the remakes, not the originals, and I don't know how I feel about this. That's a bad person, and you should let them out of your life.
No, it's not, Radar. This is an opportunity. This is a chance for you to instruct someone in their wicked, wicked ways, and to introduce them to how much better the movie's supposed to be, even though it's going to be difficult with RoboCop and Total Recall, just because the effects are so particular to that era. If you saw those other ones first, I don't know how you're going to feel drawing back to the new ones.
Those are 2 movies I will absolutely every time forgive the special effects compared to today. I don't think they're bad special effects at all. No. They were a product of their time. But if you haven't seen them and you're growing up with movies like that today, you might look back and be like, these are cheesy, but I will absolutely forgive it. Like,
I loved them. They were fantastic. And we grew up with them. So of course we're going to forgive them. We were able to let our minds create the actual story and fill in any holes. And we allow for a lot more. Whereas now it's like, you know what? That was a little bit off. That looked like a completely CGI'd outfit. It's like the Neo fight when Neo fights in the Matrix 3 with all the Agent Smiths. And I was like, I don't know. He looks all cartoony. It's like, because at that point we'd advanced. So it was harder to allow that.
Well, I will tell you this. I told you I watched RoboCop 1 and 2 and part of 3, because every time I get to the jetpack, I have to quit.
I don't know why.
No, when they walk in and they look over and they're like, and CCH Pounder is like, take that. And he's like, why? It looks expensive. And then they stop on it for a few seconds. And you just like are looking at it. And it's the same color as RoboCop.
Well, naturally.
It's just like, that's the jetpack. If you've seen the movie, it's the jetpack 100%. And then it reminds me of RoboCop in the jetpack, and I just can't do it. I cannot do it. After that first movie, which is perfect, it's in my top 10 of movies, and that second movie, which has a lot bigger of a cheesy factor, but tell me, there is no other movie, and screw the remake, where the kid gets killed, where the kid gets gunned down and he's dying and RoboCop's holding his hand. And this kid is like, please don't leave me. And like, it's just, there's some drama right there in a RoboCop movie. It
was especially touching. It was like Witness all over again, but in RoboCop.
Oh my God. Witness, that movie. Ugh. Let's see what everybody else is saying before we get started. I also love Tokyo Ghoul. If you know anyone with recommendations for that, I don't know Tokyo Ghoul. So I think you gave me a recommendation.
Ooh, all right. Well, we're gonna have to watch it to create a recommendation for you, Ethan.
I will 100% do that. Ethan, I will get back to you by next show. I will get back to you with a recommendation for it. If you know that movie, I do not, but I'm going to. Also, Casey, can we get the art wall tour of stuff behind you? Yes.
Actually, I am working on doing a short. Then we're going to do a couple small videos for the YouTube channel, and I'm going to go through all my art because I have a whole bunch, and I want to monthly be swapping these out because I have so much art, and I keep finding more like, what am I doing with all this? So yes, we will be working on that radar.
Ethan says Tokyo Ghoul is a good movie, or am I a menace? No, I don't know. So I have to
yeah, Ethan, we can't speak yet until we've watched a single movie to decide if you are a menace or not. So,
but it's called Tokyo Ghoul, so I'm kind of in on it.
Right?
Have you survived the RoboCop? Listen, the RoboCop TV series is way better than the third one.
No
Yes,
chance, Lance. And I watched the
No.
RoboCop. It was on after Alien Nation, so I watched that sucker.
Yeah.
It was good.
They're all on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is Earth Wars too? Because I love Earth War. Tech Wars, was that it?
Oh, Ethan, you're in Portugal.
Sweet.
Right.
International, baby.
Hopefully we can keep you entertained at 1 a.m. You meant the animated kids version from the 80s, AJ.
Oh.
I watched that too.
Yeah, I did. Yep.
No, the live action one. I remember the live action. It's still out there. Teo, what's going on? Thank you for joining in. I love it. Old school show Viper was amazing.
Viper.
Oh my God. We need to save that because we're never going to get to the bracket if we talk about old school shows.
This is true. Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about that next week with our
Maybe we should bracket old school shows.
Yeah, but it's once a year. I still at least want to talk about them.
You
can bracket it 100% for sure.
Because I'd be really hard pressed for something to be better than Remington Steel.
Everything's better than Remington Steel.
Hunter is not better than fucking Remington Steel.
Magnum PI is. Yeah, I'm not. It is. I will fight this tooth and nail.
I don't know. There's a bit of a suave aspect versus because Tom Selleck is suave, and even his buddy, the guy not TC, but the guy who owns the bar, he's kind of suave.
No, Roger. TC was the helicopter pilot.
Yeah,
Rick.
Rick. That was it. Thank you, Rick. Yep. Rick and TC. TC was amazing. But TC was like he was brilliant in the way that he was just common sense that it seemed like no one else had.
Yeah. I like how Radar's like April brackets. No, we're not doing this every month.
I will. Come on. Let's do it.
I don't want to. Maybe. Oh, you know what? We should do bracket show on Patreon.
Right.
All right. We'll do If you guys want it on the Patreon, we'll do a bracket show on the Patreon. Go check out our Patreon and sign up.
Yep. And we will do bracket shows forever. That's where you get the bracket shows.
You get one bracket show a year on the Scene Snobs Podcast. Yep. You want the bracket shows, you got to go to the Patreon.
And we have so many battles to have on more brackets.
Thank you, Mateo. I always love the inspiring, you got this. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Where do you watch more movies, or do you just buy discs? I stream everything now.
Streaming
I'm too
crazy.
old. I'm too old to not.
I mean,
stream.
I'll buy discs on occasion if I, happen on something.
I'm buying. I buy physical media. I'm buying Spider-Man: No Way Home. I want all the extra footage to it. And Hawaii Five-0 is better.
Better than Magnum PI, sure. It is not better than Remington Steel. Dano is not a better main character than Remington Steel. That is absolutely, you are out of your mind.
Remington Steel stinks. He was the worst. He was a wannabe James Bond.
Not even. He even became James Bond. That's how great he was.
And he was the worst one.
That is bullcorn of the highest order.
I like Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, but he is not my favorite.
Oh, he is absolutely my favorite. 100%. He was not. I was a hard, staunch Sean Connery supporter all the way.
No Roger Moore, sir.
Whoa. Roger Moore has half good movies and the other half crap. That's the problem. And right. Lazenby didn't get a fair shake.
He did not. He had a good movie.
No.
Remington Steel is so rusty. I agree.
It's got Captain Sisko.
So what? You're not getting me with that one. I'm late. Hello, gentlemen and fellow seats. What's going on, Paul? And I love. How are they? Remington Steel, terrible.
Yeah, you really don't have to watch it.
Some things aren't streamable or collector edition kicks ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
It's smart.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. I was doing a live before we get into our topic. I was doing a live, and I had a young lady join me in there, and we were talking, and she was like, "Can you tell me your best pickup line? Worst pickup line? Best worst pickup line is what I should say." And I was like, "All right, this is interesting." So I gave her the "What do you like on your pancakes?" So I know what to order you in the morning. Yeah, I like that Casey's made no budge in his face.
I mean, I also enjoy one similar to that, but it's I'd love to take you to breakfast. Should I call you or nudge you?
That's a good one. Right. See, that's much better well played.
Or you walk up and do the whole, I'm sorry. Do you have a quarter? I'm sorry. I just told my mom that I would call her when I found the woman of my dreams.
Hey, baby, do you believe in love at first sight, or should I walk by again?
Hey, I may be no Fred Flintstone, but I sure would like to make your bedrock.
Oh, that's so bad. I love it. It's so bad, and I love it. And Paul is here just like straight up like, I'm not watching this anymore.
I'm just done with it.
It just complete disdain for our pickup lines. I don't know. I was never a pickup line guy.
I can't use them because I can't keep a straight face when I do. I immediately laugh afterwards, or I do it so over the top. It's like, well, hello.
I feel like you could pull them off. You were always so good at the anti-jokes.
Well, that's fair because, anti-jokes are hilarious.
Give us one anti-joke. Show everybody what one is.
Hey, what's red and bad for your teeth?
What?
A brick.
Still gets me every time.
I love it. It's my all-time favorite, man.
Your delivery is perfect.
What's green and smells like blue paint?
What?
Green paint.
You told me one day, and it was like, what?
You died. You died.
You hit it, but you hit it with such a cadence. You were just like, what's worse than a worm in your apple? And you just go, the Holocaust. And you walked away. And I couldn't help but lose my mind to that one because I'm just like, what? How did that go from there to there?
Because
like, yes, true. Of course it's true. But yeah, it was.
Hey, Mick, you know what's worse than a worm in your apple?
What?
War crimes.
Oh God, let's get into that. Fucking stupid.
We don't have to get into that. We don't.
I cannot.
I don't have the bandwidth. We are here to bring joy and wonder to everyone out there in the world, and the absurd. And the world is crazy enough. Let's talk about fun stuff.
Yeah, and before we get started, just so everybody knows, we will be announcing the winner tonight. We reached 500 subscribers last week.
Woo! Thank you so much, everybody. Let's keep going.
Thank you guys so much. We truly appreciate you. And one lucky winner has been picked to win this Funko Pop of Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, with Baby Grogu. And we are also now at 549. Let me double check real quick.
Getting closer.
Make sure we're still there because we might have picked up one or two. You never know. Might have gotten lucky, and I appreciate people for who they are and coming on. Yep, we're still at 549. That was anticlimactic.
Yeah. Hey, I got one for you. Why was 7 afraid? What did 7 say to 9?
I don't know.
Nothing. Numbers don't talk.
I knew it. I should have known it anyway. So we are like 50 away, 51 actually, away from our 600 subscriber giveaway. And the lucky winners, the lucky one winner of the subscribers will win these Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber Pops.
Sweet.
And this Joker deceased Funko Pop pin. So, and then we have something for 700, 800, 900, and 1,000. We're going all the way to 1,000.
All the way.
Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. But should we announce the winner now before we get into our topic?
Yeah, let's do that now. Let's give some people some stuff.
Mr. Aaron Sturdivant, Sir Sturdy himself, one of our subscribers.
Whoa!
Congratulations, you won. So, random people picker picked you. So
amazing.
Random name picker is what I used.
Random name picker.
So yeah. They do enter you. All you gotta do is subscribe, and you're entered. Subscribe to the channel, and you are entered. And then I just put all the names in a picker, and that's where it goes.
It just does it magically. The RN genie is on its way.
And congrats to Sturdy.
Yeah.
If you were a triangle, you'd be a cute one. That's true.
Snap!
I'm gonna use that one on my wife later. I do use, and actually, my partner on Pulling Focus said it during the live tonight. He goes, "If you were a fruit, you'd be a fine apple."
Oh yeah.
It's like a good Nick D song too. I like it. Can you take off your clothes so I can see where you hide your angel wings? I've heard that one. It's a strong one. But there are some bad ones out there too.
Pardon me, but are your pants reflective? Because I can see myself in them.
Oh my God. I think I'm a little moist right now.
And that's how you do it. Well, all you have to do is actually talk like Brian from Family Guy.
Well,
You could pull anything off.
Telling you now, we're going to get off the air early because Casey has made me wet.
That's how I roll. Congratulations, your wife. Good luck.
Not my wife, me.
No, I'm saying
I'm
you're
coming to
obviously
your
going
house,
there.
sir.
No, that's uncomfortable. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You will stand outside with all the others, and you will sit
Oh
out
my
there.
God, there's a cult of Casey. There's the Casey cult just standing outside.
It's not a cult. It's people who just want to, bring themselves up to the next level.
It's true. It's
That's
true.
all.
So, guys, we have a fun topic tonight, and that is superhero couples that work or don't work.
Yes.
Will be the deciding factor here.
Oh yeah, it's all on us. We got this.
And the reason being is because we think about it and we're like, a lot of these superhero couples, it's like, really? Did they really belong together? I don't care how long they've been in each other's lives. Mm-hmm. They're not really a good fit.
Some of them.
Some of them are. Like, let's face facts. Catwoman and Batman are toxic.
That is clearly a toxic relationship. As I was going through doing research on this, some of these lists that people have put together are outrageous. Like the idea of some of these toxic people that are good relationships. It's the same people who are like, I love Joker and Harley Quinn. I think they're just so sweet. No, that's bad. Run. That's not what you're looking for. Poor choices.
It really is. Well, actually, Radar, you bring up a good one, Rogue and Gambit. I think that's a good they truly love each other.
They love each other, and it also shows you it teaches you how to respect boundaries. I think in a weird way, it kind of taught me boundaries.
and how to circumvent them, right?
Well, that's weird. But
you're like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape.
I was thinking more about how to adapt and overcome rather than circumnavigate someone's boundaries.
You're so messy about it. You're just like, I'm getting on this motorcycle and I'm jumping that wall.
Yeah, because I'm so sure that's going to fucking work. Oh, well, we've been working on this tunnel system for a couple years now. We're pretty sure it's right. Nah, I'm an American. I've got this.
Right? And of course, the one that gets caught and brought back. Kitty and Colossus. That's a good one.
That's all right. I mean, they're okay.
Stand out. Green Arrow and Black Canary, as much as they love each other, that's a little toxic too.
I think it's actually one of the better toxic relationships. It's one where they're not actually really hurting each other. And now, mind you, this is only from a very small knowledge base that I have, because I only watched Arrow for so long before I could throw it away.
Well, that's a good bastardized version of their relationship.
Yeah. But we're doing Onscreen.
We are doing. Oh shit! Yeah, we are doing Onscreen.
So we gotta stay focused.
We gotta stay focused. I'm not focused at all.
Nick. Tighten up.
All right. You know who I think isn't a good relationship?
Who's that?
Lois and Clark.
Okay. See, this is one that I've always struggled with because I do believe they are a terrible relationship. But Lois and Superman are great.
But that's the problem. They're the
Lois
same
and Clark
person.
are not. No, they're not. Clark Kent, Superman, Kal-El clearly has multiple personality disorder issues that were built by having to not be himself for his entire freaking life. So that's not exactly safe. And the reason Lois Lane is interested in him is because he's someone who, for some reason, she inherently digs because she has to dig as she always has throughout her career. So she finds the mystery without understanding that there's mystery to him. Yet she's drawn to him because she's not a healthy person and he's not a healthy person,
Well, think about it. Okay. So let's think about all the on-screen relationships that do end up with Lois and Clark together. Mm-hmm. They have to be at that point. So she has to kind of learn. Now, take away the Amy Adams and the Henry Cavill one, because let's face facts. That dude was not a geek. I don't even know why they treat him that way. Like maybe a lush, like Perry White's like, where is he now? Like, he's supposed to be writing and he's just not here. But he's a sexy dude. There's no hiding it. I feel like even Dean Cain did play up dork pretty well.
Dean Cain dorked it up really well. And that's why I liked his Lois and Clark. It was one of the better Lois and Clarks ever for me. Terry Hatcher was fantastic as Lois Lane. And once again, that show specifically shows you how toxic they were.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Now, I will say this for Paul. Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man. Gwen Stacy did not like Spider-Man.
Yeah. She only liked Peter Parker, and then he died. She died.
And same with Mary Jane. That's why those are the two biggest relationships of his life. They both love Peter Parker.
And I don't think we can count Gwen Stacy because, dead.
Yeah, that's not a very
That's
good
not a
count.
great relationship.
You can count Toby.
Yeah, Toby and MJ was great.
No. Toby and Gwen from the third one, which was a terrible relationship. Which
they did so many bad things in the third one. I've just tried to wipe it completely from my memory, except Thomas Hayden Church. I love this man.
When I watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and what's his name? Andrew goes, Gwen. I lost Gwen. She was my MJ, and I wish they would pan over to Toby at that moment, and just like a thought bubble would pop up, and just be like, that chick that I used to make MJ jealous.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
blonde that likes Spider-Man. Who cares? Why did you fall in love with her? And it's like, it makes no sense.
Well, that's part of the fun is how that character is so polar opposite from who Gwen Stacy is and from that relationship with Peter and MJ. So it was pretty wild that they just shoehorned. They were just throwing everything they could into the third one. They're like, we're done. Everyone's done with their contracts. Let's just do everything we want to.
And on top of that, they're like, how do we get Willem Dafoe back in here? Make him a ghost.
They need Willem, man. You can't do a movie without random Willem Dafoe. It's just Hollywood at this point. If you don't have Willem Dafoe in your movie, you're down a point on my scale.
But tell me you're not happy that we're gonna get, if we get a null King in Black movie storyline and Toby's in it. That's the only redeeming quality about the third movie, is the fact that they did introduce the symbiote suit there, so that way he can be incorporated and a part of this.
Yep.
And now we look back at it and we're like, it's a terrible movie, but at least they did it. But at least they brought him to the forefront.
They got it. They kind of did okay somewhere, accidentally.
Captain
There's some
America
really good ones.
Peggy?
See, this is the thing. We haven't gotten a chance to talk, and you're jumping into comments because I have more I want to say.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go.
So, like, Captain America Peggy was a big one that I was going to bring up as an absolute great relationship. I think that was one of the best on-screen relationships that they had.
See, I disagree. And here's why.
Okay.
Now, so that's why I brought it up, because I want to talk about that one too. So I'm glad. And we'll go on this one, and then we'll go into the brackets. But so here's the thing. It was a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They started to fall in love over a short period of time. Let's be real.
I mean, there was a couple years in the war, buddy, and it's
They weren't
sometimes
together
that's
all
how
that
you
long.
find your love. Well, but they never lost their feelings for one another.
Fair. Well, let's face facts. One lost her feelings.
No, she didn't, because he showed back up.
That's his future. That's not her future. She had a whole life. In her timeline, she had a whole
one
life.
multiverse, in one of the many timelines that potentially could be. They had a gorgeous life. So you can't try to base it on every infinite possibility. Otherwise, that's not fair.
What
we
know.
See in the movie is a beautiful relationship of two people who remain in love to the point where she lies through her entire career as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, as a founder of S.H.I.E.L.D. She has to lie about Captain America coming back to her, and they create this perfect, tiny little life that they never talk about.
No, here's what happens. Okay? Hate to burst your bubble. They go back in time. They do the little dance in 1945. Mm-hmm. Now, this guy's been through some stuff. Not only has he been through a war, but he's been frozen in ice for 70 years. And then he had to go on almost like a 10-year escapade of just a debacle of a life, like just PTSD in a jar, bottled up, ready to burst at any moment. And now he's back. He doesn't have to be Captain America anymore. He's going to explode. And let me tell you, he's going to become an abusive husband. They're going to have a few kids. He's going to be beating them kids.
Nope.
Just like every 50s father, baby boomer father.
Nope.
The Greatest Generation. My ass.
You really think Steven Rogers, the epitome of goodness and kindness and doing what is right and just, there's no chance that he goes that route.
He's got no time now. But you're basing the timeline on him being her husband the entire time. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. We don't know what that branch in the timeline looked like. Okay, now take away the abuse stuff. I'm kidding. But go back and say, okay, they lived a life together, right? How very different could it be at that point? How does that change that lifestyle? Did she not keep him a secret? Did they just keep going together? what is it? How does that end up? Does he become Hydra Captain America? I think so.
No,
He tries it out.
Absurd.
He puts that suit on. He's like, you know what?
Nope.
He's like,
Nope.
I've done the good stuff. And I'm going to live out my life and do the bad stuff. And then he's an old man. Then he's an old man sitting there, and he realized he's redeemed himself, became Catholic or whatever, got, whatever by the priest. And then he turned around and he was like, I got to get my life together, go to AA, really pull it together, and I got to give Sam this shield so he can be a good Captain America, which I now know I should have been the whole time.
But he already was in one lifetime, so technically he's good. He's balanced. I think Osiris would be fine. He
uses Captain America persona as a shield, pun intended. He was a repeat domestic abuser.
That's all he did.
He just sits in his chair with it. Like he's got that right in his arm, sitting in his chair with the Schlitz in his hand, watching his programs, his I Love Lucy. The kids are
he's a honeymooners guy. If we're going this route, he's a honeymooners guy.
The kids, yeah, that's right. He can't stand mouthy women because that's who he is. Mm-hmm. He's got Peggy knocked down a few pegs because he's like, we've already done this one. This time it's old Captain Armchair. And then like he's slinging the empty beer cans off at Peggy's sister somewhere, Sharon's mom. Just like, why are you living in my house? What good are you, freeloader?
That's awful.
It's so bad. It's so bad that we just rewrote that whole thing.
I mean, a way better way to end that is, I think my all-time favorite, though, personally, is still Scott Lang and Janet Van Dyne.
Janet Van Dyne.
Is it
oh, yeah, it is Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah. His daughter.
I don't remember. Those movies
pretty
are...
sure.
Mick and Casey, thank you, Kathleen.
Kathleen, not as good as you look. We're just trying to keep up with you, darling. Fantastic as always you are.
And we're talking about good old Captain Armchair.
Captain Armchair, Captain Quit.
There's no America. There's only Armchair. There's only me a Schlitz.
You know what I saw in 2019? It was some crazy shit.
Bucky Jr., go get me a Schlitz. Because that's what he named all of his kids, is Bucky Jr.
There's some variation.
To the end of the line. He's hammered at the dinner table with their little doily cover, and he's at the dinner table just hammered, talking to, like, I don't know, fucking Duggan or whatever his name is.
Hey,
like,
Buck Tina, what are you doing? Go do the dishes for your mother already.
And like it's like one of those old school things, like where he's sitting around talking about the war, and like he's telling Peggy, go get me another beer. She's like, I have to run Shield now so we can pay the bills because you don't do anything all day. You shut your mouth, woman. I did lots of stuff, and like he's just a nightmare to live with. And like he's telling his kids all these horrible war stories.
Awful war stories. It talks about Bucky losing his arm all the time. All the time.
And there was that time that Howard Stark was off with the two Jolly Girls, and I was watching them from the rafters because I didn't do that sort of thing until 70 years later with your niece. And he points at Peggy.
Yes. Oh, you think you're tough? Well, you know what I did? I beat the tar out of a guy made of iron in an iron suit, and I beat him with my bare hands.
So true. It's like, I just destroyed him. You know what a purple alien feels like on your fists? Ethan, thanks for joining in, bud. And you can listen to this anytime or watch it anytime, but I appreciate
Thanks for joining, man.
And he's beating Peggy. He says he can do this all day. It's the worst form of a man is what he turned into because he was just bored. Like there was no more truth and justice.
I no longer like this sulliness of the Captain America and Peggy Carter story.
Because he either turns into that or the alternative where he's still a good man, but he doesn't tell anybody about Hydra infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Then that makes him an even worse person.
No, it's not. He can't do it. He can't interfere because it would ruin what he has with his wife. And it would take away that opportunity.
Never gone back. Should have never gone back. Because how do you look your wife in the eye every day? How do you look you in the eye every day and not say, "Hey, this thing you're building, Hydra's all over it."
The same way that she has to look him in the face every day and not tell him all the truth.
Yeah, she was just hooking up with Captain Britain. That's her truth. You know, how does he not tell her about Hydra every day? He drinks all day, sits in his armchair, and throws empty beer cans at people as they walk past his porch. That's what happens. That's what's happening. He lives in New Jersey, too, because that's where S.H.I.E.L.D. was.
Yep.
At least until the 70s. So let's be real. This guy has it terrible, and I feel bad for him.
I mean, he's got a pretty rough go of it there at the end. Yeah, but I can definitely see him actually at 100% being out of Hoboken now is a nice suburb.
No,
trapped in Jersey.
No, if it's in central Jersey, they're living somewhere they're living like Edison.
Okay.
They're living in Edison, New Jersey, and it's even worse now because it's underdeveloped 1950s Edison, New Jersey. It doesn't have much. It's mostly swampland.
Is there a mill nearby? I feel like there was always mills in these stories.
There's always a mill everywhere.
And then Steve, just randomly wanders down to the grocery store every Sunday and hears the boys talking about the troubles they're having as they watch the NFL games on the telly.
Like, she won't even let him work. He can't work.
No, he can't work.
Because he can't go out. They're going to know who he is.
Absolutely.
So, see, he's
a trapped man. He's trapped himself in this time that he may be miserable in.
He's done for. This is the problem with Captain America.
Isn't that marriage?
This is the worst marriage. This is the worst marriage. And what happens when Peggy's sister has Sharon as a baby? Dude, can you imagine in the 80s when Sharon's born and he just holds the baby at the christening or something? And he's just like, I make out with you one day. And it's just like, and it's like, what?
You're going to be totally into my ass, kid. This is America's ass. Soak it in.
Now deal with it. Oh, yeah, he's just like hammered at the church.
Of course.
I totally make out with this little girl at a thing. In Germany.
Hey, Padre, you got any more of that good booze sitting back there? A little sacrament? Need a little taste, Dude,
Captain America, Steve Rogers, in this timeline, turns into the thing that Peggy has to apologize for at parties.
Everywhere.
He grows that beard again.
That's why he's not even allowed into parties. She's like, I can't take you. She uses the whole cover of, look, I can't take you because they'll know there's someone there who might recognize you. Howard will be there. Maybe, Hank will be there. We can't mess with this. Even though secretly it's like she's going like, oh my God, he's the worst. I cannot deal with him. This man needs a job. I've tried to get him into lumberjacking or something. He'd have to do something remote work and cash only. So maybe he just does lawns. Maybe he's just getting hammered mowing lawns. He's got a landscaping.
That's his job. Because he's got to do something.
Keeping America beautiful.
He's not, and he's not the dad that we all need him to be.
No,
because he's just like, screw it. Like, how weird is it that he probably had kids and started beating them because they're superhuman and he can do that? Because they got some sort of concoction in them from the super sperm.
A concoction like his dick.
His dick created a concoction of super soldier children. Mixed with Peggy Carter's just like veracity or whatever. That's the best I can come up with. Fair. And then we find out that how is it that Tony Stark was a better father than Steve Rogers?
Because Tony knew he was a piece of crap and had to keep trying, but Steve was just convinced he was the end all be all. He's like, do you know what I've done? Do you know who I am?
He's you know why he didn't talk about his marriage to Sam on that bench that day? Because he's like, I need to keep these secrets to myself.
Because I was awful. And I didn't realize it until I was 146. And I just realized how badly I screwed up.
When did you get cleaned up, Steve? Around 1999.
It was after that Real World girl on the Hawaii show. I decided I had to clean up too. Frankie was my inspiration. Yeah.
And she was from Jersey too.
There you go.
Oh, poor girl. This would make a great episode or two of what that would be.
Heck,
it would be the best. What if Steve Rogers became an everyday man like in the 1950s was?
Just an average dude. Becomes hyper racist.
He's just pulling tail everywhere. He goes down to the neighborhood bars and he's just like, you know who I am? And he can't tell him. So he's like, you see that pinball machine with Captain America's face? Kind of look like him, don't I?
Bet you I can beat you in pinball.
He's hooking up with girls. Oh my God. When I said pinball machine in a bar and I said hooking up with girls, I did not I'm not talking about Witness. Not Witness, the accused.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Oh,
let's get out of this one. All right.
Villains bracket.
Villains bracket, shall we? Sean, what's going on?
Hey,
Steve
Sean.
is the reason the TVA took Peggy, so he is not talking.
He's not only the worst husband, he actually is the reason that she gets taken away and like removed from this world. Oh,
they show her at the TVA what her life was like without him, and she's like, it was so much better.
It was so good. I had no idea it was going to be so good.
Why couldn't I die of Alzheimer's and when I was really old and not be with this monster? Oh my God! All right, let's go to the brackets. So it's night 2 of the brackets.
And it would be hilarious too because "Can't Always Get What You Want" should be the song for that "What If" episode.
Oh my God, it'd be amazing. So guys, if you were with us last week, this was the bracket from last week. We got down to Thulsa Doom won this round. We're going to be getting into night 2, of course, and we're going to cover all of these and then see who goes up against Thulsa Doom. We're going to pick a winner tonight. So,
Boom, boom.
Casey, my friend.
Hi, buddy.
I have to ask you, are you ready for this?
I mean, I was born ready.
Don't lie to me.
You're right. I am only as ready as my mind will allow me to be.
You bastard. I can't believe you'd even say that to me.
I'm a son of a bitch like that.
All right, let's get started. You are a son of a bitch, you Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, you son of a bitch.
All right,
now I want old men fighting. Now in my mind, I want it to be this old geriatric battle. Him and Zemo or somebody.
All over the place, just a constant fight all the time. It's no internal struggle anymore. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. As you guys know, we're gonna go through the bracket. If you want to join in, of course, you will be the tiebreaker. But we'll kind of move through it pretty fast, I think. But
yeah, we can't do this without you because we always wind up stuck battling each other. So please chime in and let us know.
All right, let's go with the first one. Let's try and get these down as much as possible because I feel like the final fight's going to be big.
Okay.
Shredder versus Sho'nuff from Last Dragon. What do you think?
I mean, he's the Shogun of Harlem.
He is the Shogun of Harlem. That's true.
So it's hard to bet against him, but I kind of have to go with Shredder as more villainous. He doesn't really have a whole lot of redeeming. He has no redeeming quality. At least Sho'nuff is kind of like Tina Turner running Thunderdome, Bartertown.
Yeah, I want to say that Sho'nuff is the guy, but yeah, it's got to be Shredder. Because
I mean, Sho'nuff is bad. He is villainous, but not as much as Shredder. Shredder just will do whatever, take whatever to murder Splinter.
That's true. But and as long as Leroy's there to show up, he's really only going after Harlem. Yeah. So Leroy or Luke Cage can beat him at any time.
Precisely.
Dr. Robotnik versus Immortan Joe. I got to say Dr. Robotnik. He's as a villain, he's much more effective than Immortan Joe.
Yeah. Because Immortan Joe is he's just
deranged. He's a crazy guy.
He's gross and gnarly and like a weird villain, but he's not really, I don't know. I think Dr. Robotnik was a better villain.
Bowser versus Gordon Gekko.
What? That is oddly difficult.
That is an oddly difficult one. Here's the thing. I want to say Gordon Gekko because I'm like, that dude put people out of work.
I mean, that's why Gordon Gekko is kind of honorable mention, highly considerable there. Don't know though, because he does. What's up, Rhythm Tactics? Hey, buddy.
Thank you very much. I would say Robotnik.
But Bowser, man, Bowser was literally capturing the princess to, do stuff.
And he was over and over again too.
A lot, man. He was aggressive about it. We don't know what he was doing. He shouldn't talk. Well, she can't. She's got an abusive plumber at home.
Oh, my God. So is it Mario and Captain America hanging out?
It's the worst. We're just going to turn all these spouses into horrible human beings.
We really are. All right. So we're saying
admittedly, though, he's not able to find her. You'd figure after the third time you would have put a tracking device in her cell phone or something.
Right?
Gosh, go right to really cared castle. Instead of being like, I guess I got to go through another 19 levels.
You son of a bitch. It's just arguing all the time. So are we saying Bowser?
Yeah, Bowser.
All right. Angelus versus the Darkness. I'm going to go with the Darkness.
Which the Darkness? I forgot which the
From
Darkness.
Legend.
Oh, I am Darkness. Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
Curry's amazing. I absolutely, dang, I don't know, because Angelus is pretty brutal, man. Once he doesn't have his soul, I mean, he murders Jenny Calendar. You know, that messed me up. And he tortures Rupert Giles. He tortured him. These people that he knew Buffy loved just to get to her.
I'm okay with it, though, because the Darkness took away light.
The Darkness is more villain because he's a greater power. So yeah, the Darkness. Tim Curry wins.
Here's a good one for you, and I think you're going to be mad, and it's going to have to go to a tiebreaker. The Borg versus Hades.
Okay.
I gotta go Hades.
Yeah, see, Hades was a god. He was meant to be the ruler of the underworld. The fact that he was trying to be further elevated was not completely villainous motivation.
He tried to murder a baby.
Yeah, but the Borg did. The Borg, in fact, enslaved entire planets. And they would rewrite who you were as a human, yet you could still sense you were part of that. As they put these electronics within you and you lived forever. It was terrifying.
He didn't murder them, though. They assimilated them.
I mean, that's a real question, though. If it takes away your individuality to that level, is that not a form of murder in itself?
You can argue this one all day. I got to go Hades. So
all right, I'm going the Borg. We're going to the tiebreakers.
All right,
ladies and gentlemen,
everybody.
You now have an opportunity to help us out. Go
Radar
ahead and
says
vote.
Hades just doing his job. So I'm guessing that's a Borg.
That's a Borg. Take it as a Borg.
Bob says, I got here and you tell me Mario is a spousal abuser. I must have missed something.
Hi, Bob.
Did you miss something? Go back and rewatch this episode if you think Mario is who we're talking about. Okay, we got Radar says Borg assimilation affects everyone. Sean says the Borg done far more evil than Hades. And Rhythma says Hades, great robe.
He does have a killer
robe.
So
we got 2-1 versus us. It is going to be the Borg. Borg moves on.
Yes, okay. Borg. Moving on.
What about me? I like the tiebreakers. And I don't feel like it's on me to have to try and save Hades. You're a real villain, Hades. You're right. The best kind of villain. Max Caddy versus Anton Chigurh. Chigurh?
Max Cady, I think.
Which remind me of Max Cady again. That's a video game, isn't it?
Well, Max Cady is from Max Cady is what's its nuts? Cape Fear.
That's
Counselor.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
He was so targeted and he planned that out.
He did.
That was horrifying. And slept with the daughter, didn't he?
I mean, that's the other thing. He tried to. Like, it depends on what story you did. It's an old dog story. Like, which one did you get? Yeah. I don't know.
Arthur Mitchell versus Sauron. I gotta go Sauron.
Sauron just wanted straight party. It was a naked power grab.
Yeah.
With clothes.
All right. Monty Burns versus Clarence Bodiger. I gotta say Clarence Bodiger.
I almost have to say Monty Burns here, man. Monty Burns was a form of evil that he always brought evil.
Yeah.
He was brutal.
No, I got to go with Clarence Bodiger. But Clarence Bodiger was straight devastating. Like Springfield is never truly devastated by Monty Burns.
But he tries, man. He tries to block out the sun for crying out loud. And
You're talking about one time.
He only gets money. But it's not only one time because he always tries to do everything purely motivated by money. He doesn't do anything for anyone.
And Clarence Bodiger is like the Joker almost in a way where but he's methodical about it and he's straight up destroying a city for a corporation for money.
Right. Clarence Bodiger, you're right. I concede. I have to.
Well, thank you. All right.
Ramsey when you're Snow, right, you're right.
Ramsey Snow or Hannibal Lecter?
Ramsey Snow is so much worse than Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter was a monster. But at least he was nice. And he was refined. And he was absolutely villainous, but he was so kind to you. You know, he might introduce you to a nice wine that he's going to drink with your flesh. But he would do that. That's not pure villainy. He's giving you a bit of taste of the better life.
That's fair.
Before he tastes your life.
And how about President Snow versus Jafar?
Okay, here's
Probably
a tough
go
one.
Jafar.
Those are almost the same. Like
They
they're
are?
basically, yeah.
They are, but I think because he pulls the strings from the background, I got to edge out. I got to give Jafar the edge.
See, and I think that's worse with President Snow because he's hurting these people and keeping them, under his thumb, and he's working really hard to make sure he kills anyone in his way. So
let's throw it to the vote. All right, everybody.
All right.
So, is it President Snow from the Hunger Games, or is it Jafar from Aladdin? Let us know.
How delightfully evil!
Cape Fear was shot in Wilmington, Radar. You were absolutely right.
One of my favorites.
Going to be in North Carolina in 2 months. These guys.
What? Carolina Fear Fest coming up, y'all.
So sound off. Let us know what you think. We need your vote. Is it Jafar or President Snow? We'll take
President
whatever.
Snow or Jafar. Let us know.
Jafar was more hands-on. Plus, he was a creep with Jasmine.
I mean, yes, the
True.
creep factor is definitely strong.
We got a 1-1 vote. We need a tiebreaker.
Because President Snow was a creep too. You're telling me him talking to her like he was menacing with every word he said, and it was played fantastically by one of my favorite all-time actors. So
Jafar's aspirations for the lamp.
There it is. That's 3. Right. So Jafar wins it.
Jafar moves along. I don't hate it though. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is you, dude. Because I don't know either of these characters. Ozai versus Handsome Jack.
Okay. All right. So Handsome Jack is from Borderlands, and he was a pretty bad dude. He basically used his daughter to tap into these secret vaults so he could get more money, infamy, stuff, so he could get more power. Mm-hmm. Lord Ozai, Fire Lord Ozai, was from Avatar, and he basically burned his kid and just belittled him and tried to turn him into a badass to break the softness of him. And then also drove his daughter mad while just playing games with her because he wanted the power and was going to consolidate the power, and basically belittled her and used her and abused her and was rude to her, and also started a war that wiped out an entire nation of benders with the airbenders. So for me, my money's on Ozai here.
Ozai? Okay.
I'm going Ozai.
Gaius Baltar versus Frieza from Dragon Ball Z.
So Gaius Baltar, turned on his entire, race. So that's pretty villainy. For no real reason either. It was just because he was easily manipulated and kind of stupid. He was so smart he thought he was too smart and messed him up. Frieza, I don't know, man. Frieza's all about global domination, all about that world fighting. So it's pretty brutal because all he wants to do is fight.
So what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Baltar because you can't turn on your entire race like that.
Omni-Man versus Vas Montenegro.
Okay, Vas Montenegro is great, but I'm gonna have to say Omni-Man.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
like just even like sacrifice, like what you did to your son.
Yeah,
going forward. Walter White versus Judge Doom. I am going Judge Doom. I am not wavering on this. Walter White was a monster, but Judge Doom wanted to eradicate a race.
He wanted to destroy Toontown. I'm with you. Dude, as much as I want Walter White in that position, he's not truly villainous. Later he is. He does become a true villain. But he has too many redemption moments. Even while he's Breaking Bad. Judge Doom never did, and he just wanted to murder all the Toons. So he's out.
Alex DeLarge from A Clockwork Orange versus GLaDOS.
GLaDOS 100%. She's an AI who basically is just running humans as tests, as subjects. And just
didn't we argue that AI with T-1000, is that true villainy if that's what you think is what's best?
Well, she was doing it from not just best. Like the company had closed down long ago. She just kept doing it. It was almost for entertainment.
All right. That's fair. But it can't be entertaining. Agent Smith versus Kefka.
I'm going to go Agent Smith. He was such a good villain, man.
He was, and especially when he got human form.
Yes, when they jacked him into a human, that was brutally gross and disgusting. So I loved him as a villain.
Do you have a favorite in this race right now?
In this whole thing?
Yeah.
Overall? Or against
Thulsa
Doom? Because Thulsa Doom is like one of the ultimates, man. But where we're at right now, I kind of have to lean towards Ozai and Shredder are making some serious lines. Let's see who comes out.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to argue this one. Shredder versus Dr. Robotnik. Now, Shredder was a villain. I will not take it away. But Dr. Robotnik, it's almost like a similar villain, but Dr. Robotnik, in my opinion, was a much more effective villain.
Yeah, you're right. He was a more effective villain. He usually consistently had more bad stuff to throw at him.
Yeah, and he and that type of grit, determination, and to take over and destroy the hero so that way he can turn the world into what he wants them to be, into robots. That's a pretty villainous way. Whereas Shredder really just he wanted global domination for Krang.
Yeah.
But his thing was he just wanted to kill the turtles.
Yeah, he was far more just a foil against the turtles versus Robotnik, who was a foil against the world, who was trying to target mass.
He was basically the Borg.
Yeah,
he was basically the Borg.
Yep. Yeah. So you know what? All right, Robotnik all the way.
All right. Okay, so Robotnik now. Bowser versus the Darkness. Wow.
The darkness.
The darkness. So
the darkness. I mean, Bowser's bad. Bowser does Bowser and the darkness are the same because he steals Mia Sarah and then turns her into the dark side, which is basically what Bowser's trying to do with Peach, is turn her into his bride on the dark side.
That's
so
true.
They're almost exactly the same, but the darkness scared me as a child, so they win.
The Borg versus Max Caddy. I think that's one.
The Borg.
The Borg, yeah. Okay, what do we got here? Sauron versus Clarence Bodiger.
Sauron.
I would have loved to see Clarence go a little bit farther, but
fair.
Okay, Ramsay Snow versus Jafar. So
Ramsay Snow.
He's so bad though.
It was the torturing, and look, Jafar may have tortured. If we know for a fact, I mean, Jamar. Actually, you know what? Jafar did have the prisons where he threw Aladdin in, so he tortured as well. We have proof. We have evidence of it.
Yeah, but we got a lot more of that torture.
But just because we saw more of it from Ramsay Snow, he also killed his mother. He killed everybody. He didn't care. Yeah. That was the one thing Jafar could have easily crossed that line and didn't. Or he was just too dumb, and he just kept getting foiled.
Yeah. Ozai versus Gaius Baltar.
Ozai.
All right. Omni-Man versus Judge Doom. I think Judge Doom. Now,
Judge Doom, because Omni-Man is protecting his people.
Yes. Judge Doom. Judge Doom is my favorite for this.
Yeah.
You know what? Such a hard villain.
I mean, it's really hard. I don't think the Borg's going to make it past the next round, but.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I think they might be down.
This is pretty oddly similar. Gladys versus Agent Smith.
Oh, yeah. Both of them kind of AIs. Both of them moving. Well, Gladys starts as being an AI with the purpose of completing these experiments for the better understanding and for helping humans. And then it turns into just doing the experiments for her own pleasure, which is disgusting and awesome. Yeah. And then Agent Smith goes the route of he just wants to eradicate all humans. So I almost have to say Agent Smith is worse.
All right. I won't argue with that because I don't know.
One's a psychopath a sociopath who just wants their own ends, and the other one just wants to destroy everyone and hurt everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, we're down to our Elite Eight.
Elite Eight.
Dr. Robotnik versus the Darkness. Now the Darkness again, I would put the Borg over the Darkness because the Borg's whole point is to enslave, whereas the Darkness just wants what he is to be the main thing, the Darkness.
That's fair. He does want everything to be darkness. He wants to be able to match the world in his own, So, I don't know. Dr. Robotnik has such similar. I've got to go darkness. I have to go.
Really?
Darkness.
Okay,
that's a good go darkness. I love the darkness.
Here's a funny thing. because if Dr. Robotnik had won, then that would probably be a good fight for why the Borg could beat Sauron, and that would be Dr. Robotnik versus the Borg, which is similar.
That is too similar. It's amazing how these villains tie in. The more we look at them and the more we break them down, it's like, wow, a lot of them very similar basic character development.
What do you think about Sauron versus the Borg?
Bro, it's really hard for me not to say Sauron here.
Yeah,
because
Sauron.
Look, the Borg, what they do is more villainous, but Sauron's overall drive is the most villainous, which is pure attainment of power, no matter what the cost.
Yeah.
The Borg kind of have that, but it's also an assimilation. They're trying to grow in a way. It's just compared to us, we look at that as a dangerous, frightening thing because we're so based on individuality, not a hive thought, and it's being taken against your will. So it's one of the, me would think don't take people against them wills, but Sauron is doing that as well. Sauron is bending other people's will and using them with the rings of power. I mean, that's how he was able to ensnare all of the kings to be his Death Riders. So
yeah,
it's terrifying.
I would have to go Sauron too, in my opinion. Ramsay Snow versus Ozai. I mean, Ramsay Snow did a lot of dirty things to a lot of people, but Ozai pretty much did it to his kid.
Ozai did it to both of his kids. Like that's where you can't. I got a real struggle with that, and you can't do it to kids, man. You just can't do it. Ramsay Snow killed his brother or sister that was in the womb. So look, I'm not saying he's scot-free here, but yeah, I gotta go Ozai.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Now I'm holding fast with Judge Doom on this one because I think Judge Doom over Agent Smith still works because Agent Smith was programmed to be that, and yes, he evolved.
Yeah, well, he became a virus after the first one. He completely broke free and was his own thing by 2 and 3.
But was he his own? But here's the thing: was he a product of his freedom, or was his freedom now left him to be the very product that they made?
Harumph.
Harumph.
That's a good one because I don't know.
So
at the same token, with the architect kind of bull crap, is he supposed to be that way? Was Agent Smith supposed to be doing this the whole time? All right, you know what? Judge Doom is more villainous. Yeah.
Judge Doom straight up wanted to murder his kind.
Yeah, he was a pure psychopath in that regard. He didn't want anything. That's the more messed up part. He didn't actually want to gain anything from it. He just wanted to murder them. Agent Smith, although just wanting to eradicate and murder as well, but different?
Yeah, in a way.
In a way?
He became almost like a crazed version of what he was supposed to be anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the final four.
Doom, yeah. All right, here we go.
The Darkness versus Sauron. I'm going to have to go Sauron. Now, Darkness, again, was one that was evil. But again, is it a product of who he is? When you are the darkness, and that's what you are, and you just want to spread what you are to the earth.
But it's also reveling in trying to corrupt along the way. It's the fact that he enjoys this whole sacrificing the unicorn, getting Mia Sarah to join the dark side in that gorgeous dress. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on there, all right? So, I don't know. For me personally, I think the darkness is worse because it's going to be a process. That's what he wants. Whereas, I don't know about Sauron. Sauron
is all he wants, everything he wants. Now, I would argue that the darkness, what he wants, is a product of who he is.
Yeah.
Whereas Sauron is evil by choice.
So you're saying there's more empathy with the darkness character?
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Because the darkness, the light can't survive, and the darkness is all of a sudden light itself.
Right.
It is what it is. It's a product. It's a product of this world that it needs to exist in a certain way, and it does need to exist to create balance. He wants
how very gray Jedi of you. Very gray Jedi of you.
But whereas Sauron doesn't care about balance, he just wants to eradicate everyone who stands in his way and gain ultimate power.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Darkness is going to just revel in that same kind of army. He's got his orcs and goblins. So apparently we think Sauron and Darkness those are some pretty gnarly villains, and they are incredibly close. I think it's funny how very similar they are in character build, and here we are with them in our final four. Yeah, man, I gotta go Sauron. I think the way he was able to turn and use the rings of power the way he did, I think it shows. Yeah, he was worse. He was a little more villainous than the darkness. I concede.
All right, we're down in the final two of this round. Well, no, now we're done. We're not down to the final two. We're getting it down to the final two. Judge Doom versus Ozai. It's a tough one. I would have to. Callie Baby, what's going on? Callie Baby was the one that inspired. I know you're a little late, and that's completely fine. But we did talk about the worst pickup lines, which was your topic over on TikTok. So thank you very much for joining in and giving us a topic to talk about in the beginning. Sean says, so the most important thing to remember about Sauron is what Mick said, and that is he has chose this path. Mm-hmm. Sauron started on the good side, and then chose to become the Dark Lord. I think he ultimately wanted to get to that point, and
I think that's fair. That was his goal, and I like this one. Bub saying Sauron corrupted by the ring, the darkness is who he is. Sauron wasn't really corrupted; he chose it. He created the ring. He created that power. It was almost like the Horcrux thing with Voldemort. He was creating all these things to eventually rule them, and he was a necromancer at first. When they refer to the necromancer, they're referring to Sauron in The Hobbit. So he was evil already, and he had chosen that path. The darkness, it just is the darkness. It's the constant battle of light and darkness. So I see that. Now, the darkness could have corrupted him, in fact, could have actually corrupted Sauron. So maybe the darkness is more powerful, but always existing.
It's one of those arguments about the devil. Is the devil really evil if the devil is doing his job? If the devil is doing what he was meant to be and what he was ultimately meant to be made for, if God knows all, then is he evil? Or is
if there's that much predestination, are the Calvinists right? And should I go join a Quaker commune in upper Pennsylvania? I don't know.
So is the devil evil, or is it just job placement?
Pretty much. He happened to fall into it. He asked the wrong question. He was there on a bad day.
which that's what leads me to it, because Ozai was desperate to, he was leading the fire nation. That's who he was. The fire was growing within him. That is who you are. You are a product of who you are. Now, did he take it too far? Of course. But as a leader, he stepped in and did that. Like, whereas the Emperor was like, or Sauron, or this is the path I've chosen, is who I am. Mm-hmm. He was corrupted by it. I was corrupted by it. Whereas, and this is my argument for Judge Doom. Judge Doom is who he is, and he turned on what he is, and he wanted to torture and destroy them. He wanted to torture, maim, and kill. He wanted to destroy everything that was his. Ozai had a path and was carving out that path, and everyone who was in the way just got rolled over. And unfortunately, his children were involved in that because he was so jacked up about attempting to attain the entire power and rule the continent. So it's really the madman versus the driven man who only has one desire. Everyone is able, which is a villainy all in its own. Yeah. Before we get to the choice, though, I want to put up AJ's. So AJ put up one of the worst pickup lines, and we love you for it, AJ. Hey, Callie, I believe in following my dreams. Can I have your Instagram? And yes, these happen every Tuesday night. And sometimes we do Geek Fest Live, which is Sundays, or tomorrow. It's going to be at 9 a.m. We do for different things. So you're always more welcome to join in and do this.
Always happy. The more, the merrier. So welcome, and thank you very much for joining us, Callie.
It was a bad pickup line, but I love it. Radar says every Tuesday at 9, except
Radar.
the rent. No, we do. Oh, yeah, Geek Fest Live is very random, but Tuesday nights are always, 9 p.m.
Always.
And that's been since the beginning. It was pretty good. I'm trying to use that. I love the pickup lines are making a comeback.
Yeah, I know, right? Isn't it fantastic? Well, maybe I have a chance.
So who did we decide on? Is it Judge Doom?
No, we didn't. No, it's Ozai.
I gotta say Judge Doom, so we gotta take.
I gotta say Ozai because look, we have the guy who made a choice. Judge Doom is a crazy person who went crazier.
I like Sean's take. Ozai is the archetypal conqueror character. Judge Doom pursued genocide out of hate.
I see you, Sean. I see. The problem is I have Ozai, who also committed genocide out of fear. Well, fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate. So it's all the same in the end, isn't it?
Judge Doom went straight to hate. Doom was like the more evil because he's like, all right, I'm just going to jump right to it.
Well, maybe he was afraid. Maybe he was afraid of facing the demons within himself.
That's fair.
It made him lash out.
All right.
He just needed someone to talk to and maybe dance the samba. Fuck, man. Okay. Ozai, why can't we just be a little more thoughtful?
So I think we have a vote for Judge Doom and we have a vote for Ozai. So we need a tiebreaker. All right, everybody. Ozai or Judge Doom? Choose correctly. Choose correctly right now.
Choose wisely.
So
while we wait, damned.
That's very fair. While we wait for that, just so everybody knows, because we have to wait for that because we are literally at the end here.
We are here. We're at this moment. We need one more vote.
Keep in mind, guys, we are going to be the official reps of Carolina Fear Fest coming up at the end of May, last weekend in May. Get your tickets, carolinafearfest.org. Nope.com.
There it is.
I'm tired. Just go to thescenesnobs.com. There's a link right there. It's a banner, and it takes you straight to it. And then you just get your tickets.
You just click one spot. It's one-stop shopping. Make sure to get all of your tickets, all of the tickets, any extras. Some lanyards are always cool. There's T-shirts, there's sweatshirts. Love the designs. They're always amazing.
Radar, you already voted. You already voted. You can't have another vote.
It's all right, though. You keep going, Radar. I'm with you, buddy. You and me. We're together. I like your style.
Get your tickets for carolinafearfest.org. We'll be there with live streams. Ozai is a tune. Judge would dip him, too. Is that a vote?
Yeah, that's a vote. I'm counting it as a vote.
So is it Judge Doom? Yes.
Balls.
All right, so we'll take it farther. We'll take it one step farther, and it's Judge Doom versus Sauron.
Okay.
Now,
Sauron.
Nah.
Bro, come on.
Judge
There is
Doom,
no way Judge Doom is more villainous than Sauron, who's taken over a continent, and whereas Doom just wanted to what? Take out Toonville? You know, what was that? Like, a small state. Come on. I don't want to hear.
No,
they could just draw some more.
RK
Cartoon was the guy who was what? He's the one who drew them all. He was the father of them all. He was also diddling Jessica Rabbit. Like, man. That is messed up.
Nope.
And I am saying that Sauron, the way he was taking over power, the way he was using power, his choice to walk in the darkness, he absolutely was more villainous.
All right, here's the deal. Here's why you're wrong. And it goes down to you can't judge it based on the place that they live, like what's better. Like, yeah, of course, if you want to live in the Shire, great. But I want to live in Toontown because I can hit people with anvils and it's fun.
You can do that in the Shire, too. They're just tinier anvils.
All right, before I get to the vote, I'm going to win Casey over, so it's not going to come down to what you all are voting for.
If you try to say Chris Lloyd, we're going to have...
No, I won't even say that.
1.21 gigawatts.
Sauron, again, both of these characters are evil. Straight out. They are evil people. Now, Sauron was not trying to take over his kind. He was trying to take over mankind. He was a necromancer. He wanted it. That's what he was going for. And now you can say, yes, Middle Earth, he was trying to take this over, and Middle Earth is Middle Earth, and Toontown is Toontown. But Toontown, for Middle Earth is not a real place, first of all. Neither is Toontown. So we have to take it as these are living beings, and they suffer. Now, Middle Earth was not suffering everywhere. They were still living. They were doing their thing. They just saw an impending doom, and they did something about it. Toontown knew there was something dark coming, and they knew they were going to be taken out, and that somebody was setting this up from the inside. Whereas Sauron's like, I'm going to create some orcs, and it's going to be bad.
You mean raise the dead of the people he had murdered after he killed all of his own kind? Sure, no problem there.
Then in that case, plenty of scientists are evil.
He already did it. Like, that's the other thing. Judge Doom didn't even do it. Judge Doom tried to do it. He killed like 3 people. Whereas Sauron mowed down entire societies.
Listen, I know you think you're right, and I want to agree with you. But you're not right, and I can't agree with you.
That's
Judge
fine.
Doom wanted
I'm dying
to
on
murder.
This hill, brother. Sauron was 100%.
Sauron didn't want to murder everyone. Sauron just wanted ultimate power. Judge Doom wanted to murder even the baby tunes. We know baby tunes exist. Little baby tunes is what he was trying to take.
You're not pulling on my heartstrings here, because there are also babies in Middle Earth that Sauron's murdering with his orcs.
He could be. We don't know. We didn't see that. We didn't see that portion.
He rides to Rohan. He gets the freaking wild men, unleashes them on Rohan. Like, of course we saw it.
They were in the way.
The two children, right? It's horrifying.
They shouldn't have been in the way.
We didn't have some drunk animated bullets chasing the wrong car, all right?
Listen, I gotta go Judge Doom.
I gotta go Sauron.
Baby Herman doesn't count. Listen up, Radar. Baby Herman counts. Baby Herman is a baby, and he was trying to murder him too. Baby Herman counts. Fine. Go Sauron, even though it's a wrong answer. I guess Sauron wins. Whatever.
It's the big show.
I'm so annoyed by this that everybody is so wrong. It bothers me. It's such a great deal. Geez, fine. Let me just add this real quick. So
do it. Do the thing while you're muttering and sputtering under your sounds of defeat.
You're goddamn right I am, because I'm pissed off, because this is not smart.
Just because you were trying and vying for Judge Doom, which was a good try. Look, man, if Max Cady's on here, Judge Doom was worse than him. There's no question that from a serial killer perspective, I'm a crazy person and someone who wants to commit genocide, yes, it's a big problem. It's a big no-no. But when you have someone who already did it, chose a darker path, was enslaving leaders of other races, and his whole goal was to conquer them all from the inside outside, which is a weird thing, but it did it. I mean, he was on his way. If it wasn't for the one of pure of heart, pure of heart.
Fine. Whatever. You're right.
Just saying.
You're not right. You're not. You're making things up as you go along. But I'll accept it. And
if you watch the 19-hour mega extended edition, you would know all this. Duh.
I did. I think I did. I don't 100% know, but kind of.
Yeah, close enough.
I mean, listen. I did my best. I did my best. Losers always talk about doing their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. Carla was the prom queen. Dude, I cannot wait for his movie to come out this month.
Oh my God. The unbearable weightness of being amazing or whatever it is.
The unbearable. Jesus. That's so wrong. It hurt my eyes a little bit. The massive weight is. Now you got me saying it wrong. You bastard. Why did you screw me up? Massive weight of being.
Everything is illuminated by his weight.
The unbearable weight.
Nick Cage of his weightness.
Being a massive talent.
Oh, that's it.
Is what it is, I believe. You're wrong. It's Judge Doom. It's been voted on by the people.
Nope.
Not my people.
Don't see that.
No, actually.
The people in your head? We're not counting them. Not this time.
People in my head told me.
All the other voices said I won.
I will tell you that we are down to the final two. And this
finally.
Finally, right? We've finally gotten there.
Finaled.
And I was stalling that whole time because I was putting the brackets together. And I'm adding them now so that way I can pull them up for the world to see.
Show everyone see how gorgeous they look. Oh my goodness.
This was tonight's. Of course, night one was Thulsa Doom made it. Of course, Sauron made it for this. And it's the ultimate villains bracket March Badness showdown. Thulsa Doom versus Sauron.
Yeah.
Who you got in this?
Man, this is a tough one because I got two real big contenders here that I love, who both are, in a way, leaders of their own cults, who have used their divisiveness and derisiveness and power to do nothing but subjugate, hurt, and kill. They have not tried to help anyone outside of themselves and remain completely selfish in their vying for power. So both of these villains really top being villains, the most villainy villains that they could possibly villain.
You're not wrong. And I don't know who to decide. I will say this. I did want Doom versus Doom.
I know you wanted Doom versus Doom.
I tried so hard to get I tried so hard to get Dr. Doom on there so that way I could get a Doom versus Doom.
I fought for that. Nope, can't.
I know.
Nope.
You really did. I think that was a good point. Sauron succeeded in mass genocide and enslavement in multiple races. Judge Doom failed.
Thanks, Sean.
I hate your point.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to like it. It's just fact, and I'm right.
I always think of The Rock when someone says they're doing it.
Every time, man. You're bashed.
The Rock. All right. So who are you going with? Who's your choice here?
Okay, look. In this scenario, because both of them succeeded, it's really freaking hard. These two are shockingly close. So I'm going to have to go by who's my favorite and who to me is the more intimidating villain.
Okay.
And I have to go with Thulsa Doom. Because Sauron, just in the giant eye tower form, it didn't scare or intimidate me or give me any feels. But Thulsa Doom, James Earl Jones with that incredibly flat hair, scared the dog shit out of me.
Yeah, those are terrible bangs, by the way.
Awful bangs.
We're still arguing Doom. I love it. Oh wait, no, is this Thulsa?
No, this is Thulsa Doom. Yeah.
Doom is. There's so many Dooms. Doom is about twisted control, kills parents, steals their kids, enslaves them for decades, then brainwash them. It really is a sadistic manner.
Yeah, he's just purely evil and he gets off on the twistedness of it. Sauron, I don't think gets off on anything outside of him gaining more power. So the psychopath part of him isn't really there as much as it's pure drive and focus. He's like John Wick, but evil and with, magic.
I'm going to agree with you. So let's
what?
Yeah. Thulsa Doom. I think he turns into a snake too. So that's
right. Let's not forget about the shape shifting. He's a giant snake. That's pretty terrifying.
With that hair.
Oh God. Oh man. And also doesn't he have minions out in the world? Like the one witch chick who tries to
he's
tear
got
up Conan after they hump each other.
Dude, that is my favorite scene in that movie.
It's
because they hook up, right? They hook up in the movie. They bang first, and then they go to bang again.
Yep.
And she for some reason just turns into. She didn't do it the first time, but she turns into the witch, and he just goes, "Huh?" And he launches her into the fireplace. It's so bad. It's so bad because it's just like his reaction is like, "Huh?" And his if somebody's on top of me and it's a witch and she turns into this gnarly thing, my first reaction isn't grab her head and throw her into the fireplace. But Conan is straight up there and ready to do it.
Because he's Conan. And that's why it works so damn well, because Conan is always ready to do the most weird, brutish thing that you could imagine. That someone who's never had that strength, I never go there. That's why it's hilarious to watch. Because I love watching Conan the Destroyer when he's got the wizard, the old man wizard with him. And I'm like, I identify with that character. Not even the thief, the wizard. I'm like that guy.
Mako. When Mako's just hanging out with him.
Mako was awesome.
Dude, when he punches that camel twice. It's Conan. Well, we should make Conan the evil villain.
Because it didn't listen the first time.
Well, he was drunk the first time and he punched the camel. And the second time he was apologizing and the camel spit on him, so he punched it out again.
Well, yeah, because you can't be insulted like that. You're Conan. You're
that might be my favorite callback in a sequel ever.
By Crom.
If you don't help me, then the hell with you.
Then the hell with you.
It's such a good movie. It really is.
It's great, man. And I think my favorite performance in him in that scenario, though, was always Red Sonja. I like him a lot more in Red Sonja. I think he's more well-rounded.
Bob says, I haven't eaten in 3 days, and who says you will? Best.
Yes. And who says you will?
I got to tell you, I'm very happy with this choice. It's it definitely embraces the absurdity of it. Because let's face facts, nobody is listening to us. And if we told anybody before we started this, Thulsa Doom is the greatest villain of all time, they wouldn't believe us.
Oh no, they'd really be curious as to how we got there.
Yeah.
But this is the whole point. Villainy is very different from just being a raving lunatic bad person. Yep. Or being a serial killer, or being possessed, or having these. A villain is someone who is motivated by different things, and I think Thulsa Doom works out to be the perfect villain. I think it really does. I'm hard pressed after going through this bracket. I don't see many who really are worse than him.
Judge Doom.
I'm sorry, he's not. He's just not. He's just not as effective.
It's worth a try.
He's a cool villain, and he's a psychopath, and he's fun to watch, and he's definitely entertaining. But he is and plus, it's one of the greatest reveals of all time. Like, that reveal was amazing.
I'll give you that.
But so I'm not taking anything away from his character. He is just no Thulsa Doom.
So, guys, as you know it, the March Badness has come to a close. Thulsa Doom is the grand winner of the Villains Bracket. So he is the ultimate villain in our eyes. And let's see anybody argue that, because if you do, go to hell, because Thulsa Doom is the best. And Thulsa Doom will come after you. I want to thank you guys again. Let's do a quick subscriber check. Just to kind of see where we're at. We're at 549.
547.
We are still at 549. No, I do want to congratulate Aaron Sturdivant for winning our subscriber, 500 subscribers. He won the Din Djarin Holding Baby Grogu Mandalorian Pop. Again, we're having another giveaway at 600, which is the Joker pin and the Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber pops. So, guys, make sure you get those subscribers in. Tell your friends, get everybody in and on board, and we appreciate you. I want to say thank you again for everybody. Thank you to my partner, Casey. Thank you for everybody who joined in the comments tonight. We had a lot of fun. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m., or you can check it out on all podcast platforms right after the show goes off air. You can check out thescenesnobs.com. Follow us on social media. Follow us everywhere. TikTok, we do a lot of updates, but all of those go out everywhere, so you can find them there. Thank you again. Go check out our merch store. We got lots of fun designs, stuff like that. If you're interested in becoming a patron, and maybe we'll do more brackets over there for our patron subscribers, just go and join. It's $5 a month, and you get a bunch of perks. So,
yep, and all the chances to see more of us. Who doesn't want that?
I do want to make one more big announcement before we go. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., tickets for Doctor Strange go on sale. And we will be going live with Geek Fest Live. And we'll just be talking about Doctor Strange, getting our tickets, doing our whole thing. So please feel free to join in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Geek Fest Live is always great. It's usually Sunday nights, but we've been doing it kind of all over whenever we can. So just join in. Have a great time with us. Yeah, and that's all I've got. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening and doing your thing, and we truly appreciate you. Casey, take it away, friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you all, as always. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us, and we hope that we shined a little bit of light into your lives this week and gave you a little bit of something to smile about. So we hope you keep embracing the absurdity and being awesome. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Be well.
And I cannot say it better than myself, so I'll just say goodnight and take care. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.